Hello everybody and welcome to today's video where I figured we might do something kind of fun and look into some of the possibilities of things that can be created using Unity's dots and ECS. So I recently came across this post on the Unity forums called a Share Our Dots Showcases, where it's basically just kind of like a work in progress thread where people can share some of the things that they're working on and really just kind of like showcase the possibilities of what you can make with dots. So these aren't necessarily like final full release projects, but these are things that are more kind of in the process of being developed, looking at the things that people are experimenting with and, maybe people can kind of provide feedback to each other on them. And if you guys are working on some cool dots and ECS projects, I would highly encourage you to go ahead and post to this thread. Of course, I will leave some links down in the description below to this, but I kind of just wanted to go through this thread today and just kind of watch some of these videos for some of these projects and kind of see what they are all about. So anyways, this is actually the person who created the thread, Antipodish, who is someone who is very active in the Unity Dots forums and has even commented on a couple of the videos on this channel. So he kind of started off the thread just kind of showing off some of the things that Unity's put out, of course, like the mega city and this massive RTS battle that they have going. But actually getting to the things that people are creating. So this person goes first and they're showing off this what seems to be maybe like some kind of ecology type thing. So we're gonna go ahead and watch this now. So seems to be here we kind of have like some plant and wildlife things just kind of like growing up out of the ground. We have lots of things. So we have kind of like these bigger branches, it looks like, with these kind of smaller little orbs on the end that maybe are supposed to represent like kind of like budding flowers and little saplings and stuff like that. I think kind of doing some like simulation type things for maybe some type of like ecology or something like that is really a great use case for Unity Dots. But we clearly have lots of things that are simulating growing in scale and modifying their transform and all that going through. So we pretty much started the scene off with nothing, and now we have ourselves kind of like a little garden, little patch of a forest maybe. Lots of really nice colors. But yeah, I do think that it would be really cool to use something like dots and ECS to simulate some type of real type of like ecology where you have things growing and living and dying and interacting with each other. Okay, and he has like over 250,000 entities, lots of life forms, branches. Cool, off to a good start there. All right, let's see what's going on next here. Looks like some kind of type of little battle going on here. So we have some ships basically kind of flying in and they start attacking each other. They're going to loop around and kind of attack each other again. And then now we have more and more ships coming in. And we kind of have this big battle going on. We have like different teams of ships, and there's kind of some larger ships as well. We got some larger ships coming in. There's just all sorts of things flying around on the screen right now. Let's kind of see how this battle plays out a little bit if we keep going on. So yeah, it looks like there's probably a lot of maybe kind of like flocking algorithms and pathfinding type stuff going on here. Lots of like laser little special effects going on. Some cool stuff happening here. All right, cool stuff. Nice little space battle simulator here. All right, moving along here. Looks like this person has partially integrated dots into an existing project called How Do You Like It, Elon Musk? It's a space simulator like Kerbal Space Program, but with the solar system in real scale. Okay, so let's take a look. Here's the early access trailer. You got kind of some, good looking models of a spaceship here. And take off. So we're kind of building some different types of ships. Kind of have like some like base building type mechanics here. Oh, you can kind of go back and re-simulate things with different velocities and stuff. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, obviously when you're looking at things on like the massive scale of a solar system, Nice. So obviously when you're looking at, like the massive scale of a solar system, a lot of cool things you can do with dots. So he says here, dots was the best decision I ever made in this project. Nice, glad to hear. Planet generation takes less than 1 millisecond in total, thanks to long-running jobs, and the code became much cleaner. Good to hear. So now here's a lot of things going on. Rendering and updating thousands of orbits in real time. So yeah, this is just a giant, like, spaghetti web of orbits going on. Staying solid, healthy above 30 frames per second. All right, here looks like we have a little bit of a multiplayer game going on here. So let's kind of check out what they got going here. All right, so let's see what's going on. Looks like we have maybe some type of X-Wing type situation going on here. Kind of reminds me of those old, that old Star Wars Vector game. That's a really fun kind of arcade game. So it may not look like there's a lot going on screen right now, but I know in the post he does mention that he is using a like the dots netcode stuff going on. So I would assume that's, highly performant, especially when you're shooting all kinds of bullets and stuff and trying to send those across the network. All right, let's see what we got going here. We got a couple GIFs. So more of an on-the-side tool, little Tween library, working with hybrid and pure. So this is kind of cool. It looks like there's like a little bit of a timeline kind of going on here, and things are rotating about. Well, this is cool. I am definitely going to check this out when this is complete. I will give this guy a follow on Twitter. All right, Academia School Simulator. What is going on here? So it looks like this is a alpha trailer we got going here. Ever wish you could build your own school? Yeah, I really think these tycoon type building games, where you have a lot of people running around and they're kind of doing their own little jobs, even if they're just like little simple things, clearly, this looks kind of fun. Clearly using something like an entity component system is really just going to speed up that whole process. Wow, it goes really, you get really in depth with all these menus. You're keeping track of all kinds of stats for all the different people. Yeah, I think this is, another just perfect use case for an entity component system. Unity's dots, seems to work probably pretty well for this. Cool, and it is available now in early access. All right, here's a sample project solo developed in 4 months. You can control a train which carries thousands of cargo boxes from one station to another. All right, let's see what's going on here. All right, we got some nice physics functions going on here. Some kind of like space train. Cool looking track. Looks like he's about to go on like a little loop-de-loop here. Oh, wow. All right, when's he gonna start moving? It's like these train simulator and truck simulator type games where you kind of have to do all like the little preparation work beforehand, and then you're actually getting into it now. Kind of goes through these loop-de-loops. I see a bunch of loops in the background. And then we got some things flying around as well. I'm not sure if we interact with these. Maybe we have to fend off some of these guys. Going through like a little bit of a forest here. Lots of big sweeping winding tracks. You'd think that maybe you might find a slightly more efficient way of getting your cargo, thousands of trains of cargo over to the next location than all these curves and loop-de-loops, but maybe not as exciting of a game. And it does look like you kind of have some shooting mechanics here. Was this kind of, so this is kind of actually showing the train. You can see it's a very long train. Seems like a nice kind of fun little cerebral game, even though if there is maybe a little bit more action with these guys that you're shooting. You know, it's just a really cool setting, actually. And the kind of sweeping track of the trains, you know, does make it nice and interesting. All right, here we have a crowd simulation. Of course, crowd simulations are great for Unity ECS. That's quite the crowd. All right. So it looks like he may have kind of broken up the area into a bunch of little grids. Okay, he's got like some selection mechanics going. You can select like a section of the crowd, tell them where to move. Looks like we're going to have some kind of interaction here where they're going to start having multiple crowds weaving together. Oh, this is kind of cool. I like how, you know, some areas where there's maybe a bunch of like guys contacting each other, then they kind of all turn red. You kind of have that like visual representation. Yeah, you can see from like a high level view of, you know, where there's kind of a lot of friction between all the different people here. Nice job on the crowd simulation. All right, what else do we got here? 1024 units Spuds Unearthed VR tech demo. Okay, cool. So a VR game made with Unity ECS. Let's see how this is looking. Oh, interesting. So it's kind of like a little, oh, wow. So you're kind of like in a room and there's like a little battle happening on the floor. You're kind of like stationed as some overwatching type thing, shooting off into the crowd. So you can kind of have like your own types of interactions, whereas, you know, the little guys on the ground, they're having their own interactions as well. Oh, there's like little things flying around the room that you can shoot to. This seems like it could get like super crazy and hectic, and that seems just like awesome for a VR game. This is another video they put up. Seems like it's right around like 300 frames per second while all this is going on, so nicely done. All right, so moving along here, we have a targeting plugin. So let's see what this is all about. Geometric vision targeting system. Point and get closest targets. Okay. Kind of like a VR type plugin. So really cool that you know, this person's taking advantage of dots in ECS for just kind of like this little this plugin tool for, you know, high performance environments where, you know, performance is really important, like you have in VR. Of course, there was just like a, you know, a giant wall of cubes. You gotta have the giant wall of cubes when you're doing some ECS stuff. Easy to use, examples included. That's what you'd want. Got some nice kind of debug line options. And it looks like it does take into account what the camera actually sees. So, I mean, obviously that's definitely important for a VR type targeting system. It is high performance. 400,000 rotating target entities in editor. Chillin'. Oh, wow. You see the debug, all the debug lines targeting in. Yeah, that's the thing about the debug lines is they're it can kind of hurt the performance of your project a little bit if you're having a lot of those in the editor. So maybe that's an idea of something that someone could make is some kind of better debugging tools built with ECS for ECS. So that'd be cool. Okay, scrolling down here. Oh, what do we have here? Who's this handsome young man? So this, I'm guessing this is from Jesse, who it was the producer of this game, who I did this interview with. But yeah, I don't think I ever actually showed a trailer of the game in that interview that I did with him. So go ahead and open this up. Of course, it is a game in early access. Music sounds great. You know, it's one of these real-time strategy type games where we kind of have these like groups of enemies. And, you know, obviously battle type simulations. Oh, man, this gets like really in depth. I only played through the first level of this game, but I too kind of want to get back to it and go a little deeper. I didn't build any like the castle walls and stuff like that. That seems super cool. But yeah, definitely go check that game out. It's available for free on Steam. Also, I thought the interview that I did an interview with Jesse as well as Daniel, who is the the producer and programmer on the game respectively. And I think it was like a really great talk. We talked about kind of the whole development process, why they use dots and ECS, like how they kind of chose to use those technologies, and kind of why they wanted to go something maybe a little bit more experimental, but it was for kind of the benefits of making this project that they did have in mind. So again, super interesting talk with some actually student developers who created this game. Not only did we talk about game development, but we talked about their experience of going to school for game development. And then finally, this looks like this is the most recent post for now. So working on a game called Power of Slide. All the logic is done with ECS except for UI, using Havoc physics to simulate physics. Project started as a training project to learn Unity dots, and sounds like they've got a full project here. So let's see what we got going on here. Power of Slide. I think the menu looks really cool. There's like clearly been some thought and effort put into this. It's been a nice drifting type game. So it's kind of like a line that you have to do. It's like, Gymkhana, the video game. Just slide and whoosh, whoosh. So you have the line that kind of tells you where you need to go. Just getting sideways. Kind of going through some different tracks here. Maybe you'd think at first like, oh, maybe there's like no real reason to use dots in ECS. Again, it kind of sounded like this person started off creating like a bit of a sample project, and then now it kind of turned into this whole thing. Which is kind of like an interesting evolution. I've seen, people, I've seen many reasons why people end up using dots and ECS in their projects. Of course, some of them are because, there's like literally no way that this project could be created using anything but dots and ECS right now. Whereas something like this, maybe sure, you could create it with some existing technologies that are not based off of an entity component system. But maybe as this person was kind of going through the process of just kind of doing his little tech demo or whatever, maybe he kind of came to like some things about the composability and like the structure of using an entity component system, and really just kind of took advantage of what he had already, and really just built a cool project out of it. I think this looks like very visually appealing. It's a nice game that's got like a good style to it. You of course got to have the old drift transport truck, which of course can get sideways itself. Also, another reason this person may have wanted to continually use dots and ECS is because of the Havoc physics. Of course, Havoc physics has been something that the AAA games industry has been using for, decades now. And of course, in Unity right now, it's only available in a Unity entity component system type scenario. So this, they can really take advantage of those Havoc physics, of course, by using the entity component system. Yeah, so that's awesome. So that was basically kind of like an overview of all the kind of work in progress things that people were sharing on this particular forum post. Once again, if you are working on some cool things and you have some cool things to show off that are built with dots and ECS, again, I will leave a link to this forum post down in the description below. And maybe this could be like a cool thread to come back to after like a couple months and more people are sharing some things on there. And we just kind of go through here and just kind of do a little bit of a check-in and see what are the types of things that people are actually making with these technologies. And it can maybe hopefully inspire you about some of the possibilities of things that can be done. So maybe it can inspire you to, add some more things to your existing project, or, begin a new project with dots and ECS. So anyways, if you did enjoy today's video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button. Also, feel free to subscribe to the channel for lots more videos about Unity's data-oriented technology stack and their entity component system. Of course, if you do have any questions for me or suggestions for future videos, you can always leave those in the comment section below. Also, feel free to join us over on Discord over at tmg.dev/discord. Anyways, hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.